Quite a bit of Cowboys news to break down for you guys on today's show. That includes the practice squad, which we'll get to. But first, a 53-man roster move. The Cowboys earlier today, they were awarded Malik Turner off of waivers from the Green Bay Packers. He had played for Seattle back in 2019, did get some playing time, showed a little bit of promise. My expectation for him this year is that he's going to play more of the Ventell Bryant role to start. What I mean by that is he'll be one of your backup wide receivers, but his immediate impact will most likely be felt on special teams. He's not going to suddenly usurp Amari Cooper or Gallup or CeeDee Lamb or even Cedric Wilson or Noah Brown, but Turner did get some playing time last year. He was able to contribute, able to help out Seattle when they didn't have a whole lot going on at receiver, but he's going to be a backup for this Cowboys team behind Cooper and Gallup and Lamb, Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown. Then it's going to be Malik Turner behind Ventell Bryant, who was placed on IR today. The Cowboys did some of the expecting house cleaning work, if you want to go that route there. Ventell Bryant, Sean Lee, and Lael Collins were all placed on IR. That means they will miss the first 3 games of the season at minimum. Remember, new rules this year, it's a shorter return time frame. So back on the roster, CJ Goodwin and Justin March, who had both been cut to begin the season, they're now back on there, along with Joe Thomas, who was briefly cut today to make room for Malik Turner and is now back. So all those guys, as expected, back on the 53-man roster for the Cowboys. But the big move today actually came on the practice squad. Brandon Carr, who had been linked to the Cowboys for the past couple of days, well, he's back, and in a very different role than the last time the Cowboys saw him, which was really as their number 1 corner. This time around, he's going to be a practice squad player, and he'll probably play quite a bit of safety this upcoming year for the Dallas Cowboys. Now remember, Carr right now is not on the 53-man roster. However, there are some new rules this year. One of the most noteworthy ones, you can promote 2 players per week to the active roster. Maybe Brandon Carr could be one of those guys to help you out at more likely safety, actually, or potentially as a guy to help you stop some tight ends. So I know you have Darian Thompson and Xavier Woods and Donovan Wilson and Robinson, as your safeties. You're going to be okay there. But you can bring in Brandon Carr and you can send him back down without having him to pass through waivers or being released. And you can also protect up to 4 players each week from the practice squad. You'll probably do that with Brandon Carr. So it's going to be a 53-man roster plus 2. I wonder if Carr is one of those 2. Now, this past year for the Ravens, Brandon Carr did play some safety. He also played some outside corner and some nickel corner and really box strong safety and some free safety. He kind of did everything. And I wonder if you might see a similar role for him if he ends up being active on game days for the Dallas Cowboys. So grade the move here for me. Brandon Carr to the practice squad. A, B, C, D, or F. I know that in the past, some of you have been burned by Brandon Carr. But this is just a practice squad. I know he's not Earl Thomas, but I'm all for this move. Cheap veteran depth, I'm always in favor of that. So get your votes in. It'll be the pinned comment here if you get it with the ad break here on YouTube. A, B, C, D, or F. Let's go now to the full practice squad, or the almost full practice squad here. One time quickly, then we'll break down each player. Sewo Olonilua, Jon'Vea Johnson, Aaron Parker, Cole Hicatini, Marcus Henry, and then Isaac Alarcon, who's your free pathway to the player program practice squad option. Will not count against the full 16. Francis Bernard, Rondell Carter, Justin Hamilton, Ladarius Hamilton, no relation, and then in the defensive backfield, Luther Kirk, Savion Smith, Chris Westry, Deontay Burton, and of course the aforementioned Brandon Carr. That is 15 of your 17 officially announced by the Dallas Cowboys already. So who are you most excited to see on the practice squad this year? Maybe it's a Brandon Carr. I know many of you are pumped about Francis Bernard, but we'll go through each player here, so let me know what you think. I'm not surprised to see Sewo Olonilua make it to the practice squad for the Dallas Cowboys. He will continue his transition from a running back at TCU over to more of a fullback role in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Rico Dowdle did make the 53, as I'm sure you guys watched on our video yesterday about it. Darius Anderson was released, so as for the time being, Olonilua is the only backfield member on the practice squad right now for the Dallas Cowboys. One of everyone's favorite pet cats, Jon'Vea Johnson. Well, he's back on the practice squad as maybe he can finally continue to develop for the Cowboys. I'm glad he's on there. That one made a lot of sense to me. I think it was a good decision. I also like putting Aaron Parker on the practice squad. There had been a report that the Cowboys were going to add Tevin Jones. They did not go that route. Aaron Parker and Johnson are the two receivers to get the nod instead. I don't think you see them this year unless there is a rash of injuries, but these are the exact type of young guys with some promise that you want to develop on that practice squad. Obviously, you're going to lean heavily on your big three receivers, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. Wilson will be your top backup. Noah Brown could get involved some as well. And then, of course, the previously mentioned Malik Turner coming to the roster and Ventell Bryant going on IR. Now, the NFL season, folks, we are a week away from Cowboys games. How great is that? And if you want to bet on the games, do it with our friends over at BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys75. That will get you a 125% deposit bonus. Now, we are almost out of those jersey giveaways that I promised you if you sign up and put down $100 with BetUS. I think there's like one or two more spots left. So hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney if you want in. But if you want one of the best deposit bonuses out there for sportsbooks, it's chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys75 with the top sportsbook out there, BetUS. All right, continuing along now with our practice squad, Cole Hicatini. He's the tight end, spent last year on the practice squad for the Cowboys, and he's back just like Marcus Henry is. It is difficult to find good offensive line depth there with Marcus Henry. That's going to be a key thing for the Cowboys, so I am curious to see which route they end up going. They also added Justin Hamilton as one of the defensive line options there for the Dallas Cowboys. A little bit of an older player here, Hamilton is, so I did like that pickup. I thought it was a smart and shrewd move by the Cowboys organization. Let's go now to Rondell Carter. He's next up here, another addition by the Dallas Cowboys. He had the highest signing bonus of anyone the Cowboys signed as an undrafted free agent. I did like that pickup by the Dallas Cowboys and as one of those undrafted free agents, so a good pickup on that front. I think the Cowboys smart to get him back on the practice squad. I'll be honest, I did wonder a little bit if he was actually going to make it all the way down. Let's talk about Ladarius Hamilton then. Then I want to mention both Isaac Alarcon and Francis Bernard. Ladarius Hamilton, another UDFA, showed some promise. It was a weird year for undrafted free agents. It took a lot for those guys to actually make it to the 53-man roster. It just wasn't going to happen, but he's on the practice squad instead. The Cowboys, again, I think they're in pretty good shape with the defensive line. You'll see plenty of Tristan Hill as well this season. And eventually, hopefully, Randy Gregory will end up getting back for the Dallas Cowboys as well, though that does still remain to be seen if that's actually going to be the case for the Dallas Cowboys. Do you guys want daily Cowboys videos? We're doing 2 today for you guys because news was happening. If that's the case, I want you guys to subscribe. I assume that for everybody watching, it is. If that's you, hit that big red button and subscribe today. All right, I mentioned Isaac Alarcon here. He is not going to count against the 16 practice squad man limit this year. He is part of the International Player Pathway Program. He is from Mexico. So the Cowboys actually get an extra player this year as a result of it. I know the age is a typo there. He's not that old, I promise you. But he is a member of the Cowboys practice squad pretty much for free this year. All right, Francis Bernard. This is the one I know many of you were excited about. He has been able to sneak through waivers. He cleared it, and he's going to be on the practice squad this year. And he might be one of those guys that gets the active duty call-up when you can add from 53 to 55 on game day. Remember, Sean Lee is on IR to start the season. Luke Gifford has been a bit banged up as well. The Cowboys did not want to risk losing him, so they kept him on the roster and were able to sneak Bernard down. I know not all of you liked it because he did have a very good camp by all of the reports coming out. So should Bernard have made the 53-man roster? Get your votes in here. Type Y for yes or type N for no. In the end, it worked out. Like, he's on the practice squad, and if some team tries to poach him, the Cowboys can convince him to stay or even promote him to the active roster. So, bit of a gamble, but it paid off in the end for Dallas. All right, over now to the secondary. Luther Kirk, the undrafted rookie out of Illinois State. He has made it to the practice squad. I did not watch him leading up to the NFL draft, so I'm curious to see how he develops on the practice squad this year. Savion Smith, who very much fits the mold of what the Cowboys want in their corners. Spent some time in the XFL last year. He's made it, as has the defensive version of Jon'Vea Johnson, Chris Westry. Everyone loves him because he's 6'4", and he's tall, and he's fast. Still working on the whole being a good cornerback thing, though. That is kind of a big factor. And then finally, Deontay Burton, who did spend some time actually on the active roster for the Dallas Cowboys. Got about 3 games in there. He's going to, again, be some added depth in case there are injuries. So for the time being on the active roster, 10 players in the secondary for the Dallas Cowboys. I would not be surprised if there were some additional call-ups as things go along, especially with that ability to promote 2 practice squad players to the active roster. Now, the final 2 spots on this Cowboys practice squad are not yet officially official. Eric Smith, one of the players here, played for the Jets, also got some playing time in the regular season for the Giants last year. He has to still clear COVID protocols, so once that happens, it will take a few days. He will be the 16th member of the Cowboys practice squad. And then rounding things out is Elijah McGuire. Some of you fantasy buffs might be a little bit more familiar with him. He had some playing time for the Jets in 2017 and 2018. He did not play last year, was with the Chiefs. They waived him. He will be the final member of the Cowboys practice squad, adding some depth at the running back position once that is official. So I know we went through the Sewo, Olonilua stuff earlier. McGuire, not yet official, but in a couple of days, both he and Eric Smith should round out that Cowboys practice squad. Hey, Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.